A federal judge just tossed out a 400 million lawsuit like it was yesterday's trash. But this wasn't just any lawsuit, it was Hollywood's biggest legal drama, and it ended not with justice, but with a technicality that left everyone wondering what really went down behind closed doors. Justin Baldoni stormed into court demanding 400 million from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. He walked out empty-handed. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Losing this case might actually be the best thing that ever happened to him. Judge Louis Lyman didn't decide if Blake Lively was telling the truth. He didn't look at the evidence. He didn't even care if Baldoni's accusations were true. Instead, he used something called litigation privilege, a legal shield that protects anything said in official court papers. Blake had already filed her complaint in California, accusing Baldoni of wrongdoing. Once those words were on paper, they became untouchable. The judge basically told Baldoni, even if everything you're saying is true, you can't sue her for it. It's the same protection that would have saved Johnny Depp millions if he had sued Amber Heard in California instead of Virginia. But Baldoni's team either didn't see it coming or couldn't prove malicious intent, the one exception that could have broken through Blake's legal defenses. But the real story isn't what happened in court, it's what happened months before anyone filed a single document. In September 2024, a mysterious shell, a company called Van Zant, appeared out of nowhere and filed a lawsuit against a woman named Jennifer Abel. The target, Jennifer Abel, a former employee of Stephanie Jones who had stayed loyal to Baldoni when Jones left his company. The lawsuit was designed to legally get Abel's phone records, which contained months of conversations with Baldoni. Blake's legal team got what they needed, and the Jane Doe lawsuit disappeared. No media coverage, no follow-up, just a clean exit that left Abel's private communications in the hands of Team Blake. Legal, sure, ethical. Maybe not, that's where things get tricky. What started this whole mess wasn't legal strategy. It was chaos on the set of It Ends With Us. Baldoni says Blake systematically undermined his authority as director, skipping promotional duties, claiming illness to avoid filming, and demanding producer credits she didn't deserve. But the real power play came from her husband, Ryan Reynolds. He allegedly interfered with the shooting schedule, forcing Baldoni to make changes to accommodate Blake's visits to the Deadpool set. Imagine this. A director being told to rearrange his entire production just so his lead actress could hang out with her husband on another movie. Industry insiders whispered that this wasn't just a case of creative differences. It was a calculated takeover. Blake wasn't just acting in the film, she was positioning herself to control it. Now, here's where California's anti-SLAPP laws come into play. These laws are meant to protect powerful people from silencing critics through expensive lawsuits. If you're speaking out about workplace harassment or misconduct, especially involving public figures, the law creates a nearly impenetrable shield around your words. Baldoni needed to prove that Blake acted with malicious intent, that she knew her statements were false and made them anyway. Without smoking gun evidence like emails or recordings showing deliberate deception, his case was doomed from the start. The irony, these laws were meant to protect the powerless from the powerful. But in this case, they protected Hollywood royalty from an independent filmmaker. After the dismissal, Blake didn't just celebrate, she claimed the moral high ground. Her Instagram post positioned her as a champion for every woman's right to have a voice, fighting against retaliatory lawsuits and manufactured shame. Blake's story might have won in court, but it wasn't winning the hearts of the public. People were skeptical and started asking tough questions. Why use a fake company if everything was above board? Why spy on private conversations through sneaky legal loopholes? Why drop the case instead of proving her innocence in court? Blake's plan might have worked in court, but it wasn't working in public opinion. Even though Blake won her legal battle, she's facing a credibility crisis. The more details about the Van Zant shell company and the timing of her original complaint come out, the more it looks like she was playing a game. Meanwhile, Baldoni is gaining sympathy. People see him as the independent filmmaker who got crushed by Hollywood's power. First, it was on set and then in court. His loss is starting to look less like justice and more like proof that the system protects the powerful. Judge Lyman gave Baldoni one last chance. He can file new claims about contract interference and breach of implied covenant before June 23rd. This would shift the focus from personal defamation to professional sabotage, arguing that Blake and Reynolds deliberately hurt his business relationships and film rights. Legal experts say it's a long shot, but if accepted, it could finally reveal the real story behind the scenes. And that's exactly what Blake's team wants to hide. This case wasn't just about money. It was about controlling the narrative in Hollywood's Me Too era. Blake Lively might have won the legal battle, but she's losing something more important: public trust. When powerful people use the legal system's own protections against accountability, it raises questions that go beyond any single case. The public is watching, and they're starting to see through the carefully crafted PR campaigns. Baldoni lost 400 million in court, but he might be winning something more important: the belief that he's the real victim in Hollywood's latest power play. And in an industry built on public opinion, that could be worth more than any legal victory. The battle isn't over yet, it's just moved to a different battlefield. And this time, the audience gets to decide who wins. What do you think? Leave a comment below and subscribe for any future updates when it comes to courtroom drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.